Welcome back to another episode of the K-Dog&Fish Show. I am Fish.
K-Dog.
EB Games is coming back.
Do you know that EB stands for Electronic Boutique?
Oh, really?
It does.
Welcome back. So, GameStop, we did a show a few months ago when the USA CEO of GameStop, who was born in Canada, was all over us.
He didn't seem very open to Canada.
Like selling off the Canadian, and it was also, was it Paris? It was somewhere else in Europe, the branches of GameStop. And we did a whole show about it because it was funny. Well,
why are you crapping on us? What do we do?
He found a buyer.
Way to go, bud.
It was announced a couple days ago that
a shade under a decade.
GameStop Canada, and this is a good thing. This is why we're doing this show, because we're excited about this. GameStop Canada has been acquired by, and I'm going to ruin his name because it's a French name.
Gotcha.
So it's either Steven or Stefan or Stefan. I couldn't tell you. And the last name is Tetrault.
Tetrault?
Tetrault. T-E with the accent aigu. T-R-A-U-L-T.
Well, that seems to suit the electronic
Tetrault.
boutique. He's going to be like, it's a boutique.
By the way, I did not know that. The years that EB Games has been around, I did not know it stood for Electronics Boutique. I thought that was hilarious.
And then you add games on the end, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
Electronic Boutiques Games.
Electronic Boutiques Games.
Yeah.
Anyway, he is, if you don't know who that is, he is a toy manufacturer, imports Dragon, and co-owner of McFarlane Toys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, something else I did researching for 5 minutes on this show is that he also just bought a minority piece of Minds Alive? No, Mind Games? What was it?
You mean Mastermind Toys?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So,
in your defense,
you
only researched this for 5 minutes.
Less than.
There's too many toy stores with
Which is about 4 minutes more than usual. So that's,
that's pretty good. Now,
this guy's on a little bit of a spending spree, eh?
So, yeah, he's got the money.
He must have got one of those black Amex cards. The
no limit.
No limit. Yeah. And he's like, I'll take 15% of Mastermind.
Put it on the card.
Give me the boutique.
Give me all the boutiques.
Give me all the boutiques.
So it's 185 locations in Canada, and
well,
that's what they said. That's what I got. 185 stores.
That's a lot of locations, guys.
They are going to convert them all back to EB Games.
Well, they probably still have the signs.
Well, the funny thing is,
they're just in the back.
Is that when EB Games kind of like GameStop rebranded all EB Games in Canada as GameStop, well, now you're going to spend the money to revert all of them back to EB Games. So I wonder, if all the signs are just in a warehouse somewhere.
He's got to downsize. That's too many locations.
All 185 are going to be rebranded.
And they're all in mall locations.
Back to EB Games. Well, some of them are strip mall.
Yeah, that's smart centers. That's just as bad.
True.
You know, the ones in Barrie, just off, like one's in Georgian and one's in over by
the Walmart.
The Walmart, which is a smart center. That's going to be a little bit of shekels. You know, although the ones in the mall are basically the size of a toilet. So
the one in Windsor, they just moved it in the mall, and now it's in a bigger location with all nice, fancy new aesthetics. But now they have to change it again because of the purchase.
It's gonna be. It's funny how much money was spent to convert them, only to convert them back. That to me is a little wasteful, but it's fine.
All right,
now. We don't know. It wasn't reported anywhere, and I did check of what the purchase price was. But the cool thing is, this is what he plans to do about it.
Okay.
So one was revert them all back to EB Games instead of GameStop. Okay.
Okay.
Number two is to enhance the retail experience.
Cool.
And the way he's going to do that is in-store events, catering to collectors and gaming enthusiasts.
Good luck on some of those locations.
Makes sense.
There's not a lot. You can only fit 6 people in there.
So just the downtown Toronto one.
Gotcha.
Expanded product lines beyond traditional gaming merchandise.
They're already doing that.
Number 3.
Too much.
Yeah, like what are we talking about?
Deeper integration.
Yeah.
By the way, that's the name of my new alt rock band.
Yeah.
Deep integration.
Deep integration with pop culture brands. Now that, to me, says Funko. But with all the pricing and everything else that's going on, are you going to have a deeper integration of pop culture brands? Or are you going to go this way with some of them, including Funko, and bring in cheaper pop culture integration?
Or higher end, like Super 7. And
or maybe higher end, yeah.
Maybe, just saying,
Okay.
because it's got to happen eventually, because it has to happen if you actually want to put some money in your pockets. Carry Odie.
Thrilljoy ain't coming to Canada.
Why can't EB Games be the actual
wholesaler
of Thrilljoy? EB Games,
the 4-inch,
the 4-inch, home of Thrilljoy. Now,
okay.
maybe even a little Rocky Moto. Sprinkle a little Rocky Moto in there.
We can't get those in Canada.
Get a little Thrilljoy, a little Rocky Moto, and say, F you, Funko.
You could.
Yeah.
You could. You can hold Funko over the coals. Because basically GameStop, let's say
Just turn it off. It's already done. We're done. Let's go.
Say show's over.
Show's over. I just solved exactly what he's doing. You're welcome, Pierre.
Steven.
Serge?
No, Steven.
Steven, you're welcome. You're welcome. You know?
I'm going to say
you owe me a croissant.
We've talked about
but
this.
The T's silent, by the way.
In tetrot or croissant?
Croissant.
It's just croissant.
There's no T.
So maybe this guy's the end of the T is silent. It's just tetrot.
Yeah, you don't say the T. Then they just know you're a townie.
You don't know what you're talking about. Back to Funko. GameStop is the only big box retailer that is sharing con stuff. Like
that's true.
Because Toys R Us is done with Funko.
Yeah.
Hot Topic gets nothing. Like if you look at the shared Canada list, and we'll see it coming up for San Diego in July.
Yeah.
It's just going to be GameStop.
Yeah.
And the Funko.com. Like there is.
But the GameStops in Canada don't get a lot. Well, I guess maybe.
Well, they're getting everything now.
The bigger locations probably.
Yeah.
I was just at Toys R Us, and they moved, they changed everything because they got the HMV. The shelf for Funko was like back in the corner. There's like 5 pops on it left.
By the way, that HMV is garbage. They don't have anything.
Yeah.
I was all looking for
did
really.
GameStop bring back HMV?
No, Toys R Us
did.
Oh, Toys R Us.
Yeah, they made
HMV.
like little HMV sections. I was looking like for cool steel books or anything else.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's just dumb, overpriced. The only one I saw was a steel book for Andor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want.
You want to know who I want to give a shout out to right now? Is Sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
Sunrise does physical media in Canada well. Best Buy got out of it.
Best Buy
they
does
have
nothing.
one little stand in the middle when you come in, but there used to be rows and rows of physical media.
Mm-hmm.
Cinema One is better.
Cinema, but they're gone, isn't it?
Well, just in Barrie. They're still around. In
Oh,
other major
I thought they were
locations.
done.
Yeah, you can still order online and go to a couple locations.
So I went into a Sunrise and absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
They have so much and massive amounts of steel books. Just beautiful. I loved it. Anyway, back on track.
Back to Electronic Boutique.
So you make a good point because if, GameStop is basically the biggest big box retailer to getting Funko in Canada.
Yeah.
With this switch back to EB Games and their deeper integration of pop culture products, how is that going to work with Funko? That I'm very curious because a lot of collectors in Canada, that's going there to do pre-orders or going there to shop for pops because it's one of the only places that you can get it.
I'd say you strong arm Funko. You walk in there and you say, listen, I'm going with Thrilljoy unless you sharpen your pencil.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Sharpen your pencil.
I wouldn't be surprised if Thrilljoy wouldn't want some kind of a foothold in a retailer because there was smidge in Hot Topic Box Lunch when they were launched, but
they want the EB Games sticker on it.
Yeah.
The EB,
We don't want
Classic.
that QR code.
No.
Bullshit.
Thrilljoy needs a retail outlet. They need somewhere to sell their products. Everyone's
shipping
excited
to
about
Canada
that.
is nuts.
But even then, it's still.
So if you're in Canada, Thrilljoy, let's say EB buys in wholesale, people could go to an EB Games 185 locations in Canada and get Thrilljoy.
Yeah. But the thing about retail,
about the shipping.
you want like impulse, right?
Yeah.
That's what retail is. Like people are in the mall and they're like, "Oh my god, Thrilljoy! I heard about this. I got to get it." You know, not I heard about Thrilljoy. I have to go to the website, do this, fill it out, put my credit card in there. Got to sit by the door, wait for it to show up. Nobody wants to do that. They want to be like. They literally are like, "Oh, that's Thrilljoy. I want to grab it."
The convenience in the States is different than Canada.
Yeah.
So that would be, especially the $20 USD 4-inch picks with the Chase zipper thing. That to me would be
that's cool.
That would be a cool thing for EB Games to bring in.
Yeah, and then you're the official supplier of Thrilljoy to Canada.
There you go.
There you go.
Doing way less or no Funko.
Yeah.
Anyway, one last thing on Stefan's list. It was a renewed focus on creating a community hub for Canadian gamers, which I actually think is important. It's massive. The video game community is huge. Also, like GameStop in Canada was one of the few places you could try and get Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
So that would probably be smart of them to continue that. Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They do have to up their customer experience because every time I go in there, it's always one dude who's trying to trade in all his old N64 games or whatever, and I just standing there waiting forever. Because I'm just like, I want to ask a question, but this... whatever,
only got one person working.
Like, seriously,
also the other thing too, and it's not every GameStop because there's people like Bradley Bowman, who's amazing at what he does. But if I've gone into a GameStop and the two people who are working are just talking to each other about nerd stuff and ignoring customers. I've been like, at some point, it has nothing. It's not like I needed anything. I just see it from being a retailer. I am always about the customer service experience. I'm like, at some point, are you going to acknowledge that I'm in your store?
No.
See, me, I don't care.
No.
I don't want to be talked to. I just want to go in, look what I want to look at.
I know. It's just
a
retailer thing. Like, I pride myself in customer service, so it bothers me when other people don't give it properly. So that's just me.
If I'm going in with a question, then I'll go right up to you. But most of the time I walk into EB Games and I don't care.
B-Money's got a little bit of attitude. He walks in. Can I help you, sir? Does it look like I need help?
No, I'm looking in there for nothing.
He's Ron Swanson from Parks and Recs when he goes into the Home Depot and the guy, can I help you find something? I know more than you.
Yeah. I know where everything is.
B-Money just walks right into the back room. Just takes it off the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I knew this.
I knew it was back here.
Yeah. All right. Scan that up. Let's go. Chop, chop.
I want my discount.
Yeah.
I do think that this is a great thing.
Yeah.
I think 185 locations in Canada being owned independently by a Canadian entrepreneur with obvious ties to huge toy companies. This is a great thing to bring it kind of back home because that piece of shit American CEO was just not kind about what, and again, Canadian born, now living in the US, the things he said about Canada when trying to dump the company. I hope that Mr. Trudeau got it for a great price.
Well, he probably did because he wanted to dump it. He's like, I got 185 locations just, sitting here pulling me down.
Yeah.
Probably gave it to him for like on the house.
For
just assume the leases,
just say I want out.
Honestly, give me the cash for the inventory.
Yeah.
I'll clear my debt. Give me the cash for the inventory. I put a couple bucks in my pocket, and you assume the leases.
Good luck.
That's actually a pretty good deal.
I'm gonna turn them back to EB Games.
If he actually wants to dump the company, that's actually a pretty good deal for him.
Yeah.
Just pay off your inventory, put a little bit of cash in your pocket. He buys your inventory off you. You clear your debt. He assumes the leases. You're out scot-free. There you go. Boom. Done.
I'm excited with his plans for it too, and it would be interesting to see what's going to happen with Funko and other collectibles once this switch over, and I'm sure it's going to take some time. There's 185 locations getting completely converted. It's going to take some...
He probably literally had one of those big master keys with the big roll, and the guy just tossed him the keys with 185 keys on it. And he's like, "It's all yours, pal." And just walked out of the office. You know, you signed it. You bought it.
Do you valet? Nope.
Yeah, he's out of here. That's it. He's like, none of these keys are even marked.
Which one is Manitoba? I don't get it.
I would do 4 sections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do collectibles and trading cards. I would do retro games. I would do a spot for the new stuff, and then a spot section just for trade-ins and like getting your.
There is a lot
points.
of, I find, and because some of the spaces, not all of them, some of the EB games are really tight, that I do feel like it's filled with a lot of clutter and bullshit that people have no interest in. So hopefully they'll be cleaner and organized and new games, used games.
The one in Barrie,
collectibles.
The one in Bayfield Mall, I feel is like really cluttered and a little bit too small.
Yeah, it's
But then I feel
small.
like the one over by that Walmart over there is almost like too big. Like it's not even full enough, you know? So it's
I
like,
was even in one, I can't even remember where I was. It was massive.
Yeah.
And it had multiple entrances. I can't remember which mall I was at or where this was. It wasn't in our area.
Yeah.
Like I was visiting, either I was in the States or I was in Alberta. I can't remember, but I remember going into one section. It was super long, and they had another entrance on the other end. Like it was huge.
Interesting.
That one, that size of a space, you could do meetup events and stuff that he's talking about.
Yeah.
Video game demos, competitions, like video game contests, the stuff that's like EB Games does, and where you actually win money prizes, do teams.
Yeah.
Imagine setting up a console and doing a mini tournament, local tournament, and win
They would need a big spot for that.
EB Games. No, you just need the seats, right? Doing the hook up a console, right?
Yeah, but you need, if you're doing like a LAN thing where you need like, say, 4 systems and like 10 people can play at a time kind of thing.
No, everyone
you
takes
gonna-
their turn. 2 people at a time.
There are GameStops of the size of a small bedroom.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But it'd be
Folding table, 2 chairs.
It'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right, cool.
Anyway,
All
we'll
right.
see.
Yeah.
Want to know what you guys think about GameStop selling to EB Games Canada coming back? Tell us what you guys think in the comments, especially what you think of how this will affect the collectible community. We want to hear from you guys. For exclusive content, bonus videos, live shows, and more, make sure you click the join button to become an exclusive member of this channel. Till next time, I'm Fish.
K-Dog.
We'll see you again soon.
See you.